Good evening, family. Welcome to Along with Firearms Training. I am your host, Juan J. Johnson, coming to you live on this October 23rd, 2023. Looking forward to having an amazing broadcast tonight. We'll be talking about guns, gods, and the gun buyback with my sister, Shawn. We're going to have a good program tonight. Just wanted to bring on a guest who's been observing the gun buyback system and have a unique perspective on the gun buybacks. Again, I told you, I had forewarned you that I would bring in other voices outside of myself, because you know what I do for a living, or what I used to do for a living. And I just wanted to bring on people who have a whole different perspective, or they agree. But we're going to have an amazing broadcast on tonight. Looking forward to the conversation, an enlightening conversation. With that said, I still need you to go to LWF training, LWF training for your firearms needs. Yes, I do. I need you to go there and sign up for your classes. There it is. LWF training for your firearms classes and your firearms needs, family. I need you to sign in. If you want these concealed carries, these wear and carries, if you want these HQLs, which is a handgun qualification license, I'm gonna need you to sign in, family. I'm gonna need you to sign in and sign up for these classes. I don't know how many ways to keep reminding you that we are in an era of war, and not just war outside of America, but I'm talking about war on the inside of America. We have a lot of people who have come through America's borders unchecked for their status as far as health, unchecked for their status as far as criminal background, unchecked for their status as far as are they a part of a military, okay? Um, their criminal records, um, and they don't have no loyalty to this country as we do. Yes, we have our issues with this country as Black Americans. We fight for the right to exist yearly, daily, not for civil rights. I'm talking about just the right to exist. Um, and we coexist because that's what we do. Our strongest, our strongest attribute is love, and our weakness is not knowing how to pull back from the love that we either get or we don't get. Okay, so again, I'm gonna need you to go to lwftraining.com and sign up for some courses on firearms. Even if it's just you are getting familiar with the gun, knowing the parts of the gun, knowing how to make the gun safe, maybe a basic intro to firearms. It's like a 2-hour class, and that can be done online. Okay, again, we have to reach that place in space and time where we're bringing value, we're adding value, we're helping people out. It's not enough for just to help yourself, but to help out others. I mean, what does it profit to gain all this information, to gain all these degrees, to gain all this money, and you don't help out the people who need the help the most? That's my perspective. Got to be able to help out those who need the help the most. And with that said, again, I'm just looking forward to everybody under the sound of my voice becoming responsible gun owners, gun users, and taking advantage of what? Their Second Amendment right. The right to say to the American citizens, you have an individual right to arm yourself. If you are an American citizen from Maine to California, from Rhode Island to California, family, You have the right to arm yourself as long as you meet the qualifications of that state. As long as you're legally, okay, and criminally and mentally stable, you have a right to arm yourself. Again, the Second Amendment is not a suggestion, it's a right of the people. Again, the amendment also firmly establishes that the government cannot infringe on that right. The government cannot tell you that you cannot arm yourself. Be very clear with this. The government cannot infringe on your right to arm yourself. Okay? You have that right unless you are a felon. Okay? Or you had some mental challenges, meaning you've been committed either voluntarily or you was ordered to a mental facility for 30 days or more, that would disqualify you from being able to have a gun. If you have a marijuana prescription, that's going to disqualify you from being able to carry or have a gun. If you have ex partes, domestics, civil protection orders, or temporary protection orders pending, those things will keep you from being able to have a gun. If you're a convicted drunkard or habitual addict to drugs, that will keep you from being able to own a firearm. So there's some things out here that's going to keep you from being able to have the gun. But for those who meet the criteria, for those who meet the qualifications, then you, my friend, need to exercise your Second Amendment right that every American has, which is you have the individual right to arm yourself. And seeing that we're in the era of war, there's two wars going on simultaneously that we are supporting, okay? Not just supporting with our words, but with our billions of dollars, okay? We need to arm ourselves. We have people, again, coming through these borders, again, unchecked, and they're bringing their values, their customs, their criminal histories with them, okay? Again, I'm seeing males. You may see some sprinkles of females and sprinkles of children, but the majority of people I'm seeing crossing these borders are males who look like they are part of a military. I'm believing that we could be letting in a Trojan horse family. And so this is the reason why this is not the time for you to be turning your guns in. This is not the time for you to be exchanging your guns for some certificate. This is not the time for you to listen to these preachers. And I said it, and these law enforcement agencies who are trying to snatch the guns off the streets. Okay. Again, I understand that the gun buyback, also known as the gun surrender, gun amnesty programs, I understand that they're initiatives, family, aimed at reducing the number of firearms for civilians. I understand that. And it's a good concept. Yes, we want to reduce what? Well, I don't know if we want to surrender your guns right now. I don't think that's the right thing to do, especially when you have so many people who are coming into the states illegally and having access to guns. Okay. Especially when I'm seeing as a firearm instructor, right? I'm seeing that um As soon as our brothers who come to America and they become citizens, they are immediately going to get their guns. They're getting their training. I've seen all types, all ethnicities, from Asians, Latinos, Africans, Caribbeans, you know, you name it, white, black. Um, everybody's coming. It's almost like a light switch is coming in their head that they have access to a gun and they are willing and they are ready and they are acquiring the training to protect themselves, protect their families, their friends, protect their communities, their cities. You know, they are on serious protection mode and they're learning how to shoot not just the handguns, but the long guns. Okay? So I need you to be serious. I need you to really, really do not partake in these gun buyback programs right now. Right now, I don't think it's a good time. You know, I understand that these programs typically involve offering individuals the opportunity to voluntarily turn in their firearms. I understand that. I understand that. You know, I know that they can surrender their guns under amnesty. I understand that too. Okay. I know that these programs allow firearms to be turned to law enforcement or other organizations, often with no questions asked. I understand that. But where are the crime statistics that say that it's working? Where are they? Where are the crimes? Where are the crime stats that says that the gun buybacks are working? I know that their goal is to remove the guns from circulation. And in theory, trying to reduce the gun-related crimes, in theory, it sounds like a good idea. But we have yet to see any concrete numbers from any organization, whether it's a nonprofit, whether it's a church, and even from the police departments. We have not seen nothing concrete that says that it's working. Nothing. So before you go and disarm yourself, you need to gauge the temperature that's going on in our nation right now and ask yourself this question: is this the right time for you to disarm yourself when you're living under uncertainty, when we're at war? You know, again, because many of us who are in this profession and we're awake and we're seeing what time it is, we're seeing it looks like an army coming through these borders, and they're waiting for some type of instructions, or they're getting some type of training, and they've already went to certain locations where they've seen a lot of they say migrants, I say illegal immigrants, where they're seeing them being brought to these processing centers, a lot of hotels where it's like you're not allowed to you're not allowed to go in there. Okay. So what are they training them? What are they training them for? What are they training them for or to do? I think there was an article the other day where they want to make migrants, asylum seekers, give them the right to become law enforcement agencies, law enforcement officers. I am totally against asylum seekers being given the right to become police officers. I mean, who comes up with these policies to allow asylum seekers to become police officers who are not citizens yet? I just need somebody to make it make sense to me. So with that said, my sister is in the studio. My sister's in the studio. I'm gonna bring her up. I'm going to present to some and introduce to others. Sister Shawn. and she's going to give her take on this whole gun buyback. I'm going to bring you up right now, Sister Shawn. Let me add you to the stage.
Hey, I hope, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I just need to bring you up
Okay.
now.
Yeah, so I was trying to get
Oh,
on. It has a big R there because it said
I,
Short. It said Randy Short. So I had to go in under R, and I just put my other name, Sister Shawn, but I'm here. So what
well,
I have to say.
hold up, Shawn, because I'm trying to bring you up because I'm not. I see you in the studio. I'm trying to bring you up with me.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Let me see something. Let me see how I can bring you up because it's not allowing me to. Oh, this guy, they got you on the Randy Short.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It said under Randy, and I just redid my name, Sister Shawn. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me see. Can I get you up? Add you to this. Sister Shawn is in the main. You said that this. What it's saying is they have you in the studio with just the audio, with no video.
Yeah, I'm on audio only.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if. Let me see if I don't know if people can hear you or not.
Yeah, ask the people, give them the thumbs up. If you can hear me, give them a thumbs up. Tell them to give you a thumbs up.
If you're listening to me right now and you can hear both of us talking, let me know. Just give me a thumbs up. Uh, okay, I think they can hear you talk, so I guess they can see me and hear you. I want folks to see who I'm talking to, but that's all right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh Lord, I don't know. I have to I
Girl,
gotta put my pretty face on.
you knew you was coming on.
I know, but not with my face.
Oh my God. Thank you for letting me know she's on because you got people think I'm talking to a ghost, like I'm a tranquiloquist.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll do it for a little bit. Let me just for a little bit. I don't want to let's see. I gotta get my glasses because I do wear glasses. So I can start my cam. I'll do that for a little bit, but
Oh yes. Get your hat. Where your hat at? Get your little hat.
where's my hat? I got my pink one. Hold on. Let me go get my pink hat.
Yes. We got Sister Shawn on from Sister Shawn Speaks. Yes. I'm so glad I got a guest
All
on.
right, all right.
Yes, Sister Shawn's in the
I'll
house.
do you a solid.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you.
I don't generally show my face,
I
but
know,
and
because
I don't have like I got to get myself pretty and stuff.
you good. You
I
good to
don't have
go.
no makeup on or nothing.
You good. Look here, we can't even see you. Matter of fact, you in the darkness. I'm in the light. You in the darkness.
Yeah.
So
So
look, tell us who you are, Sister Shawn. Let this audience know because we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. Give us an idea. Who am I speaking to? Who is this young lady right here?
I don't
Who
know.
is this?
Somebody need to put some lipstick on. Let me do it. Um, I didn't expect to be on camera, but yeah, my name is Sister Shawn, and I'm just an ordinary person. And I love my people. I'm a civic activist. I'm somebody that is very, very in tune to what's going on in current events. And I also try to establish and root myself in history. I try to read and understand our people, to uplift our people, and to understand our history, and to regurgitate. That's an important thing, to regurgitate our history. That's because a lot of times I think that we've made a mistake as Black people, where we didn't prioritize who we are. And
Right.
what we did was we spent a lot of time with integrating into a whole nother culture in society while putting our culture in society in the background. And
Right.
we not only did that in our individual lives and our workplace lives, but we did it in our political lives. So
Mm.
now I think what we're seeing, especially from the political advantage, that is not an advantage. So basically, we were at the table for our own selves, but what we did was we let everybody else eat.
Yes. And they never got up from the table.
They never got up from the
They
table.
pushed us off the table. So they made us the waiters and the waitresses.
No, they licking their fingers and look, let me see. Let me give me a napkin. They licking their fingers and look, I got a napkin. I'm in my kitchen right now. Yeah, they just doing this. Look, this what they doing to the black man and woman, what I'm doing to this paper towel. They done ate our food. They done licked our fingers. They done wiped it. And guess what else? They threw it to the side.
Wow. Wow.
Come on, Buzzy. Let me see if you see my doggy. Come, Buzzy. Cuss a bus. Up, 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 up.
Wow. That's a big dog.
Yeah, he's big.
Ain't no dog. That's a mountain lion.
You on camera, baby. Come on. That my big one. Come to bus. Come on. Look this way. He's looking at me. Let me look this way. Can y'all see him? I want
so
Buzzy.
Adorable. Look at him. Like a
Buzzy
big...
gonna be on the live. Okay. All right. Let's get going. Buzzy's running around here.
So look, before we go any further, how can we contact you? What platforms are you on? And where can we listen to you at?
I'm really not on any platforms. I'm not here for like YouTube and all this wonderful stuff. Usually if you want to get me, you got to know me to get me. That's my mantra. If you don't know me, you don't know me.
Right.
So I don't really put who I am out here, but I do different things. I have a radio show, WSYP951.com, Sister Speaks. That's pretty much the most that I'm going to give you. Okay. I'm not going to give you anything else because I don't want everybody to know me.
Right. Okay. Yeah. We can accept that. Yeah. So tell me, what do you think about gun buybacks? How do you?
I am completely against it.
Okay.
Now I actually had a change of heart, a reversal of heart. And then I want to be able to say it's okay to change your mindset based on the new information that you're getting. What we're looking at internationally is very, very disheartening, but I'm very, very concerned because I think that it is going to affect us as a people. And here's why. I do not believe in the Biden administration. Okay. I no longer believe in the Democratic Party.
Okay.
I am a defector, right? Right. So I am a Negro defector. So most of us, all of our lives, have been almost indoctrinated to vote Democratic.
Right.
But I have a brain now.
Yes, a working brain.
A working brain. And I'm understanding that this party is doing the Negro wrong. And this party, I'm more angry, has taken advantage of our elders.
Yes.
And their lack of knowledge. But I always call myself the new Negro. See, this is the Negro that can read. And you're not going to take advantage of me like you took advantage of my grandmother.
Right.
So now back to your specific question, gun buyback. That was a good thing because we are trying to curtail and try to circumvent and try to kind of quell down violence within our communities. People say black on black crime. I don't really subscribe to that because there's as much white on white crime that there is on black crime. And let me tell you what my philosophy is on that. Just look at Russia and the Ukraine. That is the biggest example of white on white crime. You're talking about whole countries, right? We're talking about whole countries that are fighting each other, but you don't want to call that white on white crime.
Right.
But you want to zero and laser focus into one little city in America with Chicago and say that they're out of control with the black on black crime. I beg to differ. You're out of control with your white on white crime because you got a whole Russia, a whole damn country fighting the Ukraine. What is that called? Ain't that white on white crime?
Yes, it is.
So that's that. So we're gonna put that on the table. We're gonna move on. So now I believe what this country is erroneously doing with these open borders. I'm against open borders, right?
Right.
With these open borders, you are importing anti-black racism. And because I understand that, and it's not just the Mexican, it's so many other nationalities that are coming through. And they're tricking us because they are, when we're looking at these cameras and things, normally asylum, that's the purview, asylum seeker, right? So you got all of these asylum seekers and these people who are, oh my gosh, somebody, it's environment. I'm an environmental asylum seeker. War. None of that is occurring. You sit up there and you say, well, why are you here? They're not here for no damn war or environment. They say, I'm here for economic advancement. Economic advancement, that is not allowed as a category for an asylum seeker. You must be fleeing war. And they say this environmental thing. And I'm like, well, damn. Come on. Environmental. So it fucking rained too hard on Wednesday.
Right.
So now all of a sudden we in an environmental crisis, and now I can Watusi my ass cross the border. It's bullshit. We are being had. And the white folk, they're playing two sides of the fence because they hate us so much. Because don't think the Republicans ain't gonna know this. Because the Republicans, they're putting it on the Democrats, but the Republicans are the one that are hiring them on their jobs. So nobody's innocent here. But what we have to do is we have to leverage ourselves. And we have to prepare ourselves for what's to come, because we don't know. And now we just got hit with this whole big war thing. That is the only reason I literally only changed my mind about 7 to 8 days ago when the attack on the attack on Israel occurred. Okay. So it made me think, and it made me do some more studying on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and what they were doing. And then what I learned was one of the first things that they did when the Jews came and occupied Palestine, which was only in 1948. So I have to repeat that, 1948. That ain't too long ago.
Right.
So they literally came and just occupied this territory. So for me, it's the same thing that's happening here in New York and Chicago, in DC, and now in Atlanta. That's occupation with these immigrants. It's very similar. And then I learned that one of the things that they did, they disarmed the Palestinians. Oh, they disarmed the Palestinians. So what that means is if they are invaded in any kind of way or anybody comes to get, they cannot defend themselves. So now what we're seeing is we have a whole military bombing a whole group of defenseless people.
Wow.
That's literally what we're seeing right now. So is that really classified as a war? Or is that classified as a slaughter? So you call yourself being at war to people who have no weapons. So it really got me concerned. I said, this is the same thing that they could do with the Negro. Because they came in and literally put them people out their house. Just to think about where you live in your own life.
Right.
Imagine somebody coming with guns, taking your keys and saying, get the fuck out. That's exactly what happened to them people. And if you had a gun, I'm going to take you. So I kind of felt like, this is getting out of control. If you come to Sister Shawn house, at least I could pop off 4 or 5.
Right.
That's why I'm not for the gun buyback. I've had a change of opinion. And that change of opinion was really motivated by me watching this Israeli and Palestine thing, because we are in big trouble, y'all. And even though this ain't us, it's going to trickle down to us. Because what America did by escalating their military in the Middle East,
okay,
and by voting against the only one country, there was a big vote to de-escalate and send humanitarian
aid.
We the only one. No. And guess what? Here's another thing that's my concern. The UN secretary who was there to administer the vote is a Black woman. So what the world is seeing is this one Black woman with her hand up saying no to ceasefire and humanitarian aid. And then I'm looking at here in the country, we got this thing going on in our own politics with President Trump, a former President Trump,
Okay,
elected. So he's got all these lawsuits against him. And the optics of it all. What does it look like? The optics. We got Black women, the DAs up in New York, who's trying to string him up and lock him up, is Black women.
wow.
So we got the Black women as the face of all this dirt. You better know that that's going to have some backlash, because we are the optics of it. We're going to be the receiving end of the backlash of it and the violence of it. I think it can escalate into violence. And because of that, that's why I'm not Pookie, Ray. You better not give back your guns, because we see how volatile this country is. And we see the level of hate against us. But we have nothing to do with this. We have everything to do with it. Because at the end of the day, whether you want to accept it or not, what America does is going to affect you, whether you like it or not.
Right.
So they already told us they hate our guts. So are we going to be as vulnerable as the Palestinians, where you could just come in and take us and remove us and settle and occupy us? You might think I'm crazy, but I don't think it's too far-fetched, because it's already happening. The occupiers and the settlers are the immigrants, the open borders. Those are your new occupiers, people. And the difference is they don't have no sympathy towards you like that old civil rights, Civil War white man.
Right.
And they're coming in because they actually think this is their country. They have an ideology. It's called the Recontista. That means to take back America. It's an official name. Look it up. The Recontista. Do you think they're going to give two iotas about the Negro? Because what we're doing with these open borders is that we're we're actually importing anti-Blackness.
Wow.
And what I firmly believe, if we give up our guns, one, I say no, I'm on record. And then I say support Juan Johnson, Lone Wolf Firearms. I say beef up your firearms because they coming for us. They have anti-Blackness already in their culture. And I wouldn't trust them. I would trust that. I would rather a Ku Klux Klanman than these foreigners. Because the foreigners deal in a whole different way that we understood or learned about. What you call learning. See, but I read international papers and I understand internet. The average Negro ain't doing that, but I am. Right. I know how they roll. Y'all ain't ready for this shit. Trust me. You are not ready for the way that they get down.
You have put a lot on the table. I don't know how to dissect it, what slices to get at first. But so, like I was, before you came on, I was sharing with the listeners, the viewers, subscribers that police officers, they want to now give asylum seekers the right to be police officers.
Mm-hmm. I think they did that in Chicago. Mm-hmm.
What's your take on that?
Oh, hell to the no. How you going to be a police officer and you can't even speak the language? Are these people bilingual? And then that's just a whole nother conversation. Even not even on just that a job level, any job level. So, okay, immigration, the premise of immigration is to accentuate or add to the skills that you're deficient in. So in other words, I ain't got enough engineers, I ain't got enough doctors, I ain't got enough this, that, and the third. And so you allow immigration to kind of balance that number out. You are importing low-level skilled people. Immigration, the intent was to bring high-level skilled people to bring our country up. So you have to ask yourself the question, why are you bringing in these low-level skilled people who can't even speak the language? And most of them that come in on those visas that are like the high education visas, they speak multiple language. They can speak English. That's one of the pretenses of getting in here.
Right.
So you're bringing in a bunch of people who can't even speak the language.
Right.
Where are they going to work? Who are they going to serve?
I've seen a couple of videos where they got a lot of the migrants or immigrants, illegals going to hotels and they're being processed.
Yeah.
And
they're not just being processed, they're being fed. They're getting room service 3 times a day. They doing DoorDash. They don't like the food. If the food is not ethically conducive, they can do a DoorDash. I'm like, well, damn, just take me out my house and just send me to the hotel. It's like a vacation, something some of us have never experienced. I can wake up in the morning. I don't have to do no wash. I don't have to change and turn my bed or nothing.
What about the $9,000 per month for each one?
$9,000, but it ain't that. Let me break that down. That's just for rent. It's only 6 months. I'm gonna tell you, they're going to extend it another 6 months because ain't nobody just gonna pay no rent. That's rent only. That's 6 months. They will extend it. It'll be up to 8 months. So that 9,000 will turn into 18,000 like that. And you've got to understand, it's more than that. That is strictly rent. So you've got to add on that rent. That's just rent. That's for me to just lay my head somewhere, right?
Right.
But they're still also getting food stamps. They're also getting the cash stipend. and they're also getting the medical care, and they're also getting the education for their children. So now our schools are being overcrowded. They're having to hire more teachers. And in every aspect of life, because they can't speak English, it's causing more money, because everything that you think that you're doing on a daily basis, you have to hire an extra staff person or person that's bilingual to be able to deal with them. So by the time you take that 9,000 and then you start adding in the food stamps, you start adding in the cash equivalents, you start adding in them going the schools, in the schools, and having to hire extra staff, because the teachers, they don't speak Spanish. So they literally have to do a whole nother team of staff just to teach those children. And the medical, that's way more than $9,000. Once you add all of that, the 9,000 in 6 months. In fact, I looked at it. Let me just make sure my math is right, because I looked at this. The 9,000 divided by, because I did this, 6 months is $1,500 a month. So $1,500 a month will be for rent only. Hold on, let me just check my math. Just make sure. So I thought I did this already. 9,000. Hold on. Divided by 6 months. Yeah, there it is. I did it. It's 15,000. It's $1,500 a month. That's just rent. Right. So let's just do an estimate. So if you're gonna have to add that 1,500, the average food stamps there. Okay, so here we are at 1,500. I got it right here. So the average food stamps. Hold on, can't see.
If they got a family of 3, one person can do rent, and the rest of it is just they just stacking money.
Yeah. So I just don't want people to think that 9,000 is actually bigger than that, because you got to add this other stuff. They're literally only talking about one category of money. So that's just, there it is. That's that 1,500. We divided that up. So add with food stamps, the average, I think they're getting like $200 a month. Wow. And hold on. It depends on how many kids. You could be getting more than that, depending on how many kids you got. So let's just be very modest, plus 200. So that equals up to $1,700 a month. Now, this is where it gets funny. If you want to do medical care, if you add medical on that shit, medical, I'm telling you, but you know how much these doctors cost. That's going to be at least another $1,000 a month, at least. All right. We talked to medical. Now you're talking about education. You're talking about having to hire a whole nother teacher and having space for a child. Literally, that's going to be another $1,000. So let's put another $1,000 on it. Okay. Modestly, that's what it is.
Wow.
Guess what, folks? That's your reparations. Full stop. That's your reparations.
Isn't it amazing how they can't find reparations for us, but they can find money for everybody else? That's why I said last night on my broadcast, I mean, I'm not on board with this. I'm not on board with the wars. I'm not on board with the migrants. I'm not on board with none of this. I'm taking the whole. I'm just taking a step back from this until we can get our protected class status that we need as a Black Foundation of Black American community, freedmen's, Negro, colored, until we can get the reparations, until we can get some health care for ourselves and some education. Why are we towing the line for everybody else? Now you hit it right on the head. You know, I feel like our generation X and after us, we're cleaning up the damage from the baby boomers. Mm-hmm. Just bad decisions. Because everybody I see on television making these decisions, they're not speaking for me.
Yeah.
And that would include the Congressional Black Caucus, which has been silent during this whole situation.
Oh, we don't even talk about me. Oh, Lord. They're a joke. They're a complete joke. They've done nothing for our people. They've sold us down the river. Complete joke. Really, literally. And it's really sad. So that's why I'm doing my last ditch effort for our kids. And I don't know if you've got wind of this. I got wind of this last week. Do you know they're building all of these new, they're calling them mega prisons?
Okay.
Did you hear that article? Did you read that?
I haven't seen it, but I'm listening.
It's in Alabama, and it's
Oh
another
yes, I
state.
saw a video on that. Well, I thought that was that no, I thought that was Atlanta. They were talking about a urban city.
None. Well, they got that going too. That's called the smart cities.
The smart city,
Smart
yes.
cities, and they call them 15-minute cities. But this is different. This is mega prisons.
Okay.
Oh, we got to look that up, and we're gonna have to talk about that because I just got wind of that. They've got all this money. They've got one going up in, I know it's Alabama, and it's another state. They're all southern states.
Well, is that for us or is that for the migrants that we're gonna have to lock up? Because right now the migrants, if you saw what's going on in New York, they fighting, they protesting, they don't have the same loyalties, or even they don't even know the laws here.
Well, that's the question. What are they being built for? And the reason, okay, let's talk about why they call them mega. Because they're mega because they fit 5,000 inmates. 5. And I don't really know about how prisons and things go, but obviously that's kind of something different because I think prisons maybe only go maybe 2,000, 2,500, but they're calling this a mega because they're making the input capacity up to 5,000 per prison, and they're building them all over the South. So ask yourself the question, who are they building them for?
Well, again, I'm saying that the prison rate in our country among Black males is going down, has gone down. These guys are soft these days. They don't have the same crime rate back in the 90s and 80s that they have now. Man, you may have a population of youngins out here who are terrorizing, but the crime, as far as incarceration rate, we don't have those same incarceration rates. So I'm thinking they're building for these folks that's come across these borders. I think they're soldiers.
I think so, but I think they're building them for the Negro too. They're going to build it for the Negro first because you know why? Because back to that conversation in New York, that's why I said there's a collusion and a collaboration because Eric Adams announced they had over 400, let me see the camera. This thing is a little weird to me, but
we see
400 employers coming this big ass job fair to give them jobs.
Okay.
See, I don't know if you heard that report. So he announced that employers had volunteered to come in at this big job fair to try to give them jobs. I said, well, God damn it. Where the hell is the big job fair for the Negro?
There ain't no big job fair for the Negro.
Yeah.
This is
what I'm trying to point out to people. You're being undermined. So you are seeing firsthand in real time what they can do for you and what they're not doing for you.
Right.
So that should answer your question, how you should vote next election. And I'm going on record on Juan Johnson's. I am officially voting Republican. And ain't nobody going to tell me nothing, a motherfucking thing. Hands, toes down. You're not going to shame me. I hope Trump, if his ass don't go to jail first, I hope he can get his ass in office because I will be voting for President Trump with the quickness. And I am a lifelong. I'm 55 years old. I may not look it. I'm an old woman.
You don't.
But I've been voting every year since I was eligible at age 18 for these fucking Democrats. And I ain't doing it no more. Now I'm a registered independent. So I am an independent, but I haven't been independent forever. I started off all Democrat independent. I'm not even a Republican. I'm still an independent, But my
Right.
ass, this black ass, this Negro ass is voting for Trump. And I hope, and I be up in my bed praying that he that he beat his charges. I hope he beat his charges to get back in office because I'm voting for him.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, people. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
Sister Shawn speaks.
Yeah.
Sister Shawn speaks.
Yeah, I will. I'm officially make a they say MAGA. I say MABA. Make America black again.
America black again.
MABA. I'm a radical Republican. I'm a black Republican. I'll get up in there with them white folks and I'll put on my hat just like I did. I know how to handle them. I ain't scared. But right now, they're doing the things, the Democrats are doing things that would debilitate and hurt us for years and years to come with these open borders. I'd rather deal with that white man than deal with all this mess that Biden is doing. And that white man is important, the brown man that is more racist, and the China man that is more racist than that white man. That's what we got to wake up to.
I don't think a lot of people can see that when others come here and they impose their will on us as a collective, and they will tell us, we had nothing to do with your racism or your white male dominant culture. So they're not going to have the same empathy or sympathy because they know at the end of the day, it's about resources. I don't know why our Black leaders or so-called leaders, as Malcolm would say, our so-called leaders, have not been looking out for us as a collective and giving us the resources. They want us to vote every year for the same people who have committed treason among their own people. It doesn't make sense to me. And then we have this older generation who will try to shame you, insult you, and guilt you for voting your conscience and voting your love for your people than for this party. Again, I'm not a Republican or Democrat. I'm an independent too. And I'm an independent thinker, you know? So I won't let them shame me and guilt me and insult me about my decision, whatever I decide to do. But I'm not going to sit still and watch who I perceive as the worst generation of leadership that America has ever produced. $34 trillion deficit, 2 wars, okay? And they just let the immigrants just run rampant.
Rim shot.
And make excuses
for rim shot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just toe the line and just get on board and just watch our destruction. I can't do that in good conscience. I just can't do that. And I'm blaming not just the Democrats, the Republicans. I'm blaming the preachers. I'm blaming the business people, because for years they've been pushing this spending power, but never, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, Black economic power, self-reliance power. We ain't been pushing that. And so now we're seeing, like I said, when COVID hit, COVID showed me the betrayal of Black leadership or in our government. It showed me we have nothing. Every other community have stores, supply lines, distribution centers. That if they shut down, the agents got their own stores. They don't have to go to Shoppers or Piggly Wigglies or Public or Shoppers or Giant. The Latinos got their own mega marts, supermarkets, foodways, food farts. Okay. They got their own stores nationwide and distribution centers and supply. Have nothing. We depend solely on everybody else for our survival. And I can no longer look at the big dog in good conscience. I can't do that. I can't support that no more. I just won't. I can't support no more.
But I'd like to say something, and I'm glad that you said that. Okay. And this is another thing that I want people to understand. When we talked about, we broke them numbers down. That 9,000 is more than 9,000. It's the 9,000, and we broke it down. We added the numbers, And once all that is done, it really ends up being at the where's the numbers? I just took the numbers there. It's more than $2,000 a month.
They don't
Once
kick
you
me
start
off.
adding all of that.
They don't kick us off Twitter.
That's 2 months. And here's what I want to say. We just talked about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
That's not 2 months. That's monthly. That's the 1,500 plus the extra 200. That's about 17. And I think we added. We was literally at. We would put it like this. We were minimum $2,000 a month minimum. I think it was a little bit more than that per month.
Mm-hmm.
And think about. And this is what pisses me off. And this is what we all need to be pissed off about. COVID. We dealt with that shit a year and a half, down there, 10 years. How many fucking stimulus checks did you get? We got one fucking stimulus check in a year for $1,500. Do y'all understand? We only got one stimulus check, and I think that some people got a second one. We literally people lost their jobs. People couldn't work. People couldn't pay their rent. People couldn't pay their mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this government gave us, think back, y'all. How many stimulus checks did you get? And how much was it? The fucking shit was $1,500. They're giving these immigrants $2,000 a month. That's every 30 motherfucking days. When we sat for COVID, how many did you get a monthly a stimulus check? Did you get it? Yes or no?
No.
How many checks did you get? How many checks did we get under all that as American citizens? One. And that fucking check was about like $1,450. I think some of them was $1,300, something like that. Do you know they giving these people $2,000 a month checks every 30 days? We got one check in 12 months, man. Do y'all really see what's going on here? And then I don't even want to hear this bullshit about innocent women and children. Because most of the people, the pictures that we see in, they men. A bunch of damn men. Oh, and here's another thing. Here's another question. I'm going to be talking about it on my show. Why we don't see no damn black immigrants? Where the black people at? Ain't no black people in Mexico, and where the black ones at? They show a little few from Africa. Where they at? Why they ain't coming through? Because they're discriminating against them and not allowing them to come through. They're only allowing the white ones to come through. So that's the next thing we need to be on top of. Why we don't see no damn black immigrants?
Right.
Immigrants are only white? See, ain't nobody talked about that. It's all racism. It's erasure. And for us, as foundational Black Americans and Negroes and freedmen, it's a form of genocide. It's another step in the genocidal ladder. And this is what I want my people to understand. This is why I'm on your show. Do not, I don't give a fuck if it's illegal. Do not hand over your arms, because you may need it sooner or later.
Facts. So, I can't say it better. So I brought you on because I told the people, the viewers, subscribers, that look here. I know I talk often, and sometimes you got to hear from a different person. Sometimes you got to hear it from a different person because sometimes they get familiar with your voice and your sound. But sometimes you just have to be shocked back into reality. There's some people out here. I can say with clarity that this sister right here loves her people. Have a great love for Black Foundation American people, coloreds, the Negro, the freedmen. I mean,
Mhm.
she has nothing but love. And guess what? The love ain't always reciprocated, but that doesn't stop her from extending herself to her people. And she goes to great lengths when she does speak and share. She knows that every time we say something and we share, uh, hey, there's a cost to everything. But guess what?
Mhm.
Because of the love that we have for our people, and we know we're walking in those same shoes as the Harriet Tubmans, as the Ida B. Wells, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
As the Corettas and the and what's what the Fannie Lou Hamers.
Annie Lou Hamers, Harriet Tubmans, and Ida B. Wells, and let's see who else we got. I would say Barbara Jordan. The reason why
Yes,
I say Barbara Jordan because Barbara Jordan was speaking against immigration hard. That she's a new age woman. She wasn't back in history. She's up in history. See, we got some people that are what you call up in history. You know, we got some,
hmm,
but it ain't few. It ain't a lot. It's only a few.
and we
Most
cannot
of
leave.
we deal
We
with the boulets now. We ain't got no people that's up in history. But she was one of the last that was a fighter.
we can't leave out one of the greatest standing 10 toes down, who wrote the ISIS
Oh,
papers.
Dr. Francis Cress Wilson.
Dr. Wilson. Dr.
Mhm.
Wilson. Man, who did not budge, did not flinch, and she is prophetic.
They
Prophetic.
never even wanted to. Let me tell you how it's permeating now. Look how long it took. They never wanted to say the word white supremacy. She coined that word.
He coined it.
It took all this years. Now everybody is saying white
She would
supremacy.
say so eloquently, the system of white supremacy. She
Mhm.
said it so eloquently, didn't
People
even didn't
couldn't.
even raise her voice.
Mhm. They couldn't figure it out. They couldn't figure it out. Mm-mm.
And then when she passes away, it's almost like they was glad she passed away, and they just jumped on it, and they start calling each other white supremacists.
No, to be honest, after she passed away, I think it really took the traction. Unfortunately, that's what they say. People work their whole life and they don't get to see the benefits of their work. That's what
Mhm.
happened with her because she didn't get it was only a small populace of people who understood, but now everybody understood. So she's been amplified
Mhm,
and she
mhm.
definitely should be valued and honored at all costs. And all those that dishonored her, may they go to hell. And I wish them a Negro nightmare. Yeah, yeah.
May
That's
you
all I
go to hell and get a Negro nightmare.
yeah. Most deaf.
But while you're going, I need you to read the ISIS papers to remind you of the betrayal you did. And I need you to read the Crest Color Confrontation. And I need you to read some Neely Fuller.
Oh yeah. Because see, Neely Fuller was her mentor.
Yes.
See, and she was a student under Neely Fuller, and
Yes,
I believe Neely Fuller is still alive.
he is. He's in his
So
90s.
he's still out there spitting fire.
He's in his 90s. He's in his
Yep,
90s.
yep,
You know, and she
hmm
always paid homage to Neely Fuller.
yep. hmm
Well, sister, again, it's 9:13. I'm
Let's see
not
what
going to
time
hold
is
you.
it.
Not
I
going to
was
keep.
hoping is short coming on.
Well, you know what? Let me say
Hold on,
something
let
because
me
he
see.
he's been hitting me on my. Let me say something. He hit me
Let me
on
see. Hold
Messenger,
on, let
right?
me get my glasses on. I can't see. I can't.
I'm gonna tell
I
him
am
this.
blind. I'm half blind here.
I'm gonna tell him to send me his
Did you send him a link?
email for the link. I'm sending it to him right now because he hit me on he just hit me on Facebook. So I figured that his broadcast with Dewan B
Oh
is over.
yeah, I forgot he was on with Dewan.
Yeah.
I think his I think his I think
No,
he's Dr. Randy Short at gmail.com.
okay, let me see something. If you got it, I'm sure I'm gonna send it to him. Watch
Yeah, hold
this.
on. Let me look at it. Let me pull it up on. Let me go on my emails real quick. I have to come off. Let's see here. Okay.
Is that DR dot?
Yeah, hold on. Let me see. I'm trying to pull it up. DR. Or let me just see if it's Randy RA. Yeah, it's okay. Here it is. I got it. You ready?
Yes.
It's W
Hold up. W.
Randy Short at gmail.com. So it's W Randy Short at gmail.com.
Okay, I just sent him the Evite, and let's hope he picks it up and
Yeah, W
he
Randy Short.
can continue
And
this
now,
conversation.
now I got to pick you back up. I got all these tabs. I got to find you again.
I
Hold
see
on.
you though. I see you.
Oh, you see me? I can't see you now because I done went to my email, so now I can't
Well,
see
you got your
you.
hand on you got your
Oh,
hand
there
on
you
your
go. There you go. I found it.
yeah, we got you. I see you loud and clear. Let me see something. Layouts. Let me see. Let me throw this up in
So they
here.
kicked you off of Twitter. Oh,
Yes.
Lord.
Yeah, they kicked us off of Twitter. They kicked us off of Twitter.
I don't know why. We didn't
You know,
say nothing, did we?
these days, I mean, I don't know if it's the frequency. I'm in a good area. You don't have to say nothing these days. If they don't care for what you're saying, they just, put a strike on you
Yeah, I got it.
and follow up with another strike.
Yeah. Well, I was just trying to hang in a little bit just to see if he came on, and I guess I'll hang around a little bit just to listen to what he had to say because he always has something interesting to talk about.
I see Chef C was on the Twitter feed. I saw him on the Twitter feed. Or
Oh,
I
was
keep saying
he?
Twitter, but it's social X. Keep saying Twitter, but it's not Twitter no more. It's social X.
I still call it Twitter. It's
Yeah.
gonna take me a minute. They call it X. But yeah, I still call it Twitter.
I feel you on that. I do too. I just can't get beyond not calling it anything else. Let me call him and see where he
Hello?
is.
Yeah,
All
he's
right.
on. He just sent you the link.
Okay, we're about to have another guest come
Yeah,
on.
you just got the link.
Tell him should be under Lone Wolf Farms.
Yeah, Lone Wolf. Okay, that sounds white. He said that sound white. You know him. All right, when you go and concentrate getting that link together.
He said that sounds
All right,
white.
bye. Okay, so I wanted to hang in. I'll go ahead. You talk to your people. I'm going to wait a little bit for him to come on, and I'll shoot the shit with him for a while.
Well,
And
I'm just waiting for him to come on. I hope he come on through. Let me see. Let's see him come on through.
yeah, he said he just saw the link. So
Okay. So he should be coming on soon.
he might be popping into the building.
For those who don't know, Dr. Randy Short, when he comes on
Hold on, I
board,
gotta do a little something in the kitchen. Keep on talking.
if you don't know Dr. Randy Short, he's a historian, he's an intellectual, he's a straight no chaser. He's a brother who has a love for his people. He has a love for God, and I look forward to having this discussion with
Love
him.
for God and love for guns.
Yeah, guns and God and guns.
God. That's a new mantra, right? He got a love for both, right?
Yeah, love for guns and love for God. So I just look forward to having him come on board again. And this would be an interesting conversation because I know Dr. Short, he can go, he can speak, and I'm looking forward to having him share with us.
Yeah, and I'll let everybody know before he goes on. What do you call it? What do they say? Parental advisory is advice. Once he come on, you're gonna have to do the parental advisory one. You know you are. You know how you
Yeah, he doesn't have no filter.
no filter. There you go.
He doesn't have no filter. But I wouldn't have it any other way because he kind of reminded me of the John the Baptist is crying loud in the wilderness, and John ain't had no filter either. John, he was rough. He was rough.
Yes.
Dr.
Yes.
Short is rough, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know where he's at, but
Well, I'm gonna hang on in here with you. You can keep talking. I'm just piddling them. I'm gonna hang in here, give him some time to come on in, and I just want to shoot the shit with him and you.
Okay, family, again, you were listening to me. You listen to lwftraining.com along with Firearms Trading. I have my sister Shawn on, Sister Shawn Speaks, giving us her perspective about the gun buyback and just offering different answers and opinions to what's going on in these United States of America. Again, I tell you, she loves her country. She loves her people, and she know that look here, this is all we got. We built this, and we're not gonna have folks coming here and undermine and take this from us. It's too much blood in the soil. As a matter of fact, a shout out to Chef C. I know we're gonna get
Yeah,
you
I
up.
wish you could have
C.
came on. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? He was watching. I should just,
You should
Chef.
have pulled him in.
Chef, if you see this, man, come on and send me your email address. I'm going to bring you in right now.
Mm-hmm.
The chef was watching it if he ain't too busy. But yeah, I'll send him a link. I don't have the email address, but I will send him a link. He can pop in here too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he can. We ain't playing with this. Yes. Now look, Sister Shawn, we was a part of this great documentary From the Soil.
Mm-hmm.
I dealt with law enforcement. Sister Shawn dealt with the earth, the food, the ground, and Brother Chef C, he's the chef. It was his documentary. Dr. Randy Short was a part of it too. Just some powerhouse hitters, man. This is a little small thing we're doing. We leaving some stuff for posterity.
Yes.
This is for
And
posterity.
From the soil, I think we should really start amplifying that a bit more. And I'm keeping up with it, what he's doing. I think he's in the moment, but it's a series.
Yes.
It's not just like one movie. He's
Right.
going city and he's literally doing all of these mini documentaries. So by the time he finishes, he'll probably have like 9 or 10 different documentaries. He was just focusing on us at the DMV, but I've been watching his other clips. He's been up in Massachusetts, Boston, New Jersey, New York, DMV. And so there are a bunch of little mini movies.
Right.
And once and I don't even really think they're out for what do you call it?
Distribution.
Like money. He's not selling them. He's really developing them and collecting all of this content, data, and he's little mini movies. But hopefully he can get that stuff packaged out because I know it's costing him a lot of damn money. So he can start selling the documentaries. So I'm looking forward to that. So once he gets to that stage level, to actually start marketing everything. Here comes my dog. You hear? Once he starts marketing everything, comes of us, and we can support him, right?
Right.
So, because I think he's literally doing a lot of this stuff on his own dime.
And look, he's putting out some real high quality content.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the graphics, the pictures, even the dang on the views he got. I mean, the what's that little thing that flies in the air?
Oh, drones. The drone.
He's using the
Yeah,
drone.
he got camera drones.
Yeah,
he's not doing. Look, I'm glad he's not doing drones to kill people like the Israelis. He's doing drones to do documentaries because drones can kill now.
Right.
That's another thing. Drones can kill. Buzzy.
Could you call Dr. Short again and see where he at?
Okay, let me see. Let me see.
Oh, he called me just now. He just called me. He just called
check
me.
your phone.
All right, let me go here. I'm picking up right now.
I'm about to see. I want the people to see. so everybody can see.
You emailed it.
Yes, I emailed it. You got it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna show.
See this
Cousin
text.
Okay, so you click on yet? I can see
I'm
it.
trying to get it, and I'm thinking, let me go back.
I'm sorry.
It's got me entering the studio. Let me enter this Facebook.
You about to jump up. Jump up.
Okay, I'm entering.
All right. Once I see you,
I don't want this one.
I'm gonna bring you up. Once I see you in the studio, I'm gonna bring you up.
Okay, let me go back.
We just waited for Dr. Short to come on to the studio so I can bring him up. Then we have a three-way. And if oh, there you go. There you go. There you go. I'm bringing you in, Doc. I'm bringing you in right now.
Bring him in. I gotta see where the hell.
So, Doc, you only put on your video. You only want audio, no video.
Audio, no video.
Okay, so we'll hear you, but we can't see you. Okay, is that good for you?
That's correct.
We want to see your face, Doc.
No, you don't want to see my face.
Okay. Okay, let me hang up for you and let me bring you in. Hold up. I'm gonna hang up right now. Doc, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you without the echo now. Yeah.
Is it still the echo?
No, the echo's gone.
Okay.
So I sent you a
You
video.
gotta give him a break. We sitting up here. You gotta give me a break. Me and Buzz. Buzz.
Now, you know what I need? You need to see the video I sent you. Please open it.
Oh Lord. What
The Palestinian.
Hold on, I got my dog here.
The black Palestinian who's talking about how much he's hated, how badly they're treated.
I'm putting Buzzy on here.
Doc, before you go talking, let me let the folks know we have Dr. Randy Short. He's on audio only, so you're seeing the sister Shawn and myself, but Dr. Short's in the background. So we're just glad to have Dr. Short on board. Dr. Short, I want to introduce you to the family. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and let's have this conversation. Go ahead.
Well, all I can say is that I enjoy books and talking to intelligent people, and I hate BS. So and I hope that you show that video. I hope you connect it so people can see that. Okay.
I am not that skillful right now at bringing up videos. But when I put that thing together, I will work on this thing tomorrow, and hopefully I can be able to bring up the videos and other articles while I'm doing my broadcast. But we hear your voice. We hear your voice. So tell me, we've been talking about the gun buyback, and we've talked about this invasion that's taking place at the borders. What do you want to share with us right now?
Well, what I want to say is now is the time for, in particular, Black American people to get tired of all of the foolishness. We need to stay away from what I would call foreign entanglement coons. These are coons that need acceptance from other people. They're called POCs. For me, it's people of crap, because there's been nothing in us for POC. So these foreign entanglement coons that want us to get with the people of crap are enemies of the soul that should be rejected. And when they bombed the World Trade Center, whatever happened, Black folk died.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When folks got bombed in the Pentagon, Black folks died. Okay. Folks who were exposed to the chemicals or whatever hit those buildings that disposed of have died in the thousands. The singer Donna Summer was exposed to the stuff in the air on 9/11, died. People have gotten sick and had lung ailments. I believe my father was impacted by whatever was burning in the Pentagon. He's dead. And other people have gotten sick. So when these people, there's a lot of folks, they're nihilistic. There are a lot of, I'm going to just say it, nihilistic niggas. They hate America so much. They're willing to throw their people out with the bathwater. They're mad at white America, and they'll burn a house down with us in it with their rage. So saying, do you really want to burn everybody in the black community up because you're mad about racism? Do you realize you sound like a white supremacist, a Klansman, a race soldier, a neo-Nazi? You're so driven by rage and reaction until you destroy. Such people are scum, and they're vermin in our midst. We shouldn't get excited whenever anyone wants to bomb anything that has Americans in it, because we're 15 to 20% of the population in America. Right. Which means there's a 1 in 5 chance we'll get jacked up over somebody wanting to hurt America. It's policies we don't want, policies that don't benefit us, policies that more than likely hurt us or favor somebody over us, and we still get killed for it. And there are folks who say, well, I just want to see America suffer. No, I don't want America to be punished in such a way as it hurts the very people who've been victimized by Americanism.
Right.
So we should be demanding a border. The days are over for Black people to be focused on political parties. We should only care about policies, tangibles. My expression is MFM, which means motherfucking money. That's a street way of reparations, because reparations sounds kind of weak. Motherfucking money sounds like you're ready to take it. And we really need to be ready to take it. The Ukrainians are taking it. The Israelis are taking it. Palestinians cutting babies gonna get some money. And we're starving out here. What the hell? We need God, guns, land, seeds, technology, unity. We need a national salvation. We need a revelation to change things up. And we absolutely we don't need to be coalesced with anybody but ourselves. We need to stop trusting people. You're a person that knows about law enforcement. Don't you see all these people getting busted with fentanyl from other countries? It's always these foreigner types. And every now and then it's a coon. Where's that fentanyl's going to end up once they've maxed out with selling it to white people? Has anybody heard that the Black junkies on the street aren't allowed to have heroin anymore unless it's got fentanyl in it? Can't get cocaine anymore unless it's got fentanyl in it. Can't get Love Boat anymore unless it's got fentanyl in it. It is a way to exterminate us, and they're doing it, and it's being made in Mexico and China. I mean, if they're not going to get us with the bad food, they'll get us with the bad drugs. And we want to be hooked up with them. So as I said, it is not people of color. It's people of crap. We don't need them. We need each other. Don't you like that, people of crap? Because there's been nothing in it for us but crap. We march for.
I got a new one for you. It's called MABA. Make America Black Again.
Okay, I like Make America Black Again. I also like, we can say MALA, Make America Lawful Again. If your butt isn't legal up here, you need to get the hell out. You know how you could get rid of everybody that doesn't belong here? All you need to do is put a trace on everybody with the Western Union or remittance thing every time somebody sends some money. First of all, charge them a little tax on that and trace it. And they can kick everybody out that doesn't belong here. If you're an illegal, you don't belong here. I don't care what you're doing here. You don't belong. You're like a person that's, when you're in a hotel or a motel, you rent a room for so many days or hours, right? Even if it's a hot pillow hotel and you just want to screw and get out 6 hours later, right? You have to get out. And the hot pillow hotel, you have to take your sheets out with you. Hand them out when you leave. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I'm trying to say to you is that these people who overstay their visas and everything else, they need to go. If America can't take care of veterans, if veterans have to be thrown in the street, for illegals, for these gangsters and other people and potential terrorists. That's a sorry ass country that's on its way down. Now,
Right.
I also want to just say that Black American charity starts at home. And I mean, I just want to say to folks that Palestinian Blacks are double minorities, triple minorities. They're not liked by the Zionists. They're not liked by fellow Palestinians, and they Black and they're outcasted. Okay, the religious ones or the Christians aren't gonna like them because they're Muslim, and then the Muslim ones don't count them because they Black and they Muslim, so they catch all kinds of hell. If the Palestinians aren't doing anything for their Black Palestinians, what the hell are we doing trying to hook up with them here?
There you go. And
I,
another
I,
question,
I,
Dr. Short. I had a question I wanted to ask. How come? I think we all need to think about this. They are surrounded by like 3 Muslim countries. How come they're not opening up their borders to let them in? What do they got? Syria, Egypt, and I believe Jordan.
no, you've got Egypt and you've got Jordan that border the Palestinian properties.
Hold on, my dog is. Let me.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Keep going. Keep going, Doc. I
Yeah.
hear you.
So the people in Jordan is already predominantly Palestinian. Okay, so the whole plan of the Israeli Zionists is to drive all the Palestinians out of the West Bank and out of Gaza. They want everybody out. And the issue is for people who want to hold on to Jerusalem and want to hold on to that land, they don't want the people to leave. They want them on the land because they see that as belonging to, in fact, I'll just give you the term. In Islam, it's called Dar al-Islam, place of peace. And Islamic culture, wherever Muslims live, it's the land or place of peace. And wherever non-Muslims live, it's Dar al-Harb, which means place of evil or place of wickedness or place of unbelievers, right? So they don't want what they see as holy to become made contaminated by people who don't have a moral, ethical, historical, or social right to be there. And they also know that the Israelis do have a plan to not just get Gaza and the West Bank. They want Jordan, a significant part of Syria, a significant part of Iraq. They want southern Lebanon. They want the east bank of the Nile River in Egypt. They want all of Sinai. So they want a huge piece, and a piece of Saudi Arabia too. It's way beyond. It's sort of like, I don't want to be crazy, but if you recall Germany at the end of World War I, once it came under Hitler, Hitler had all of these territorial concessions that he felt the people who were Germanic needed to be in one country with just them and nobody else because they were unique and special, and they didn't want anyone else there, but just everybody get out. It's just us. And every place that had Germans or could be said to be a German land, they wanted to be part of Germany. And every time that Germany got land that had been either mandated under Britain or France, can you please muscle? That is such a disturbance.
You're talking about the dog, Sister.
Yeah. Yeah, that dog is determined to turn it out.
But look at Doc, we hear you louder because you're coming in strong and loud.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So it's real simple. The Israelis, I'm not saying that it's just like, but in a sense it is. The Jewish people needed exclusive living space for just Jews and nobody else.
Right.
And Hitler had the same thing of just Aryan. No, we can't work. We want no minority. Everybody get out. It's just us. And each time that the Germans would get one thing, they would want something else. So they got the Rhineland and they got the other things back. And then they started saying, Austrians are Germans. They need to be part of the larger Reich. So they got Austria, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, the Sudeten Germans and what was then called Czechoslovakia, which is now the Czech Republic, the people, they said they wanted all the Germans
Right.
and what was in Czechoslovakia to be comfortable with only other Germans so they could be happy, because they could never be happy amongst these Slavs. They need to just be with Germans.
Right.
So they got what they had, the Munich Agreement, and the Sudetenland was given to Germany as an agreement for peace. And then Germany just went and took all the rest of Czechoslovakia as they felt like doing. And then they started talking about they wanted the Polish corridor and they wanted Danzig. And they started complaining about it and that they had to have Danzig, which is now called Gdansk, which is in Poland, but at one point used to be, it was a predominantly, or at least a city with a strong German influence and with Polish people. And the Germans wanted it. It was on the Baltic coast and they saw it as part of Germany. And when Poland didn't give that up, then Germany went in and took Poland, right? And Germany made an agreement to with the Russians to split Poland in half with the Molotov Ribbentrop Treaty from 1939 before Germany went into Poland.
Right.
And then, of course, Germany got Denmark. Then Germany got Norway. And of course, that didn't please them. So then Germany got Luxembourg, Netherlands, Belgium, and of course, they got France. And of course, later they forged things to get Bulgaria and Hungary, and they took Yugoslavia and they took Greece, and yet that wasn't enough. And ultimately, what they really wanted, the real Lebensraum, was in the east, which is Russia, in particular the Ukraine, right?
Right.
And so they kept, the Greater Reich, what the Germans needed, they basically needed everything that they could get, everything that they could take is what they needed. Well, in a sense, if you look, the present borders of Israel isn't what the Israelis agreed with the United Nations that they would have. They've gotten what they were told they could have, and they've grabbed other places. And there's a General Obed, OBED, who has a map. You can go look it up, or I can see if, I have to send you a picture another time because I don't think you could put it up. But if you look at the plan, they have a plan to get a piece of Turkey, a piece to get a significant part of Syria, Iraq, Egypt, all of Jordan, some of Saudi Arabia, a significant part of Iraq, and most of Lebanon. By the way, there are other people living there already, and I'm certain that people will find some way to justify why they have a right to it, but there's no way to satisfy an ideology that is satisfied with dispossessing people of land that they've been on based on an ideology.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think the Foundation of Black Americans or ADOS or the colored community or the Negro, what should we be doing at this moment?
We should take care of one another. I don't think that this dream of a greater Israel is sustainable not because they don't have technology. I'm not trying to say what people can or can't do, but if you're having difficulty holding Gaza and the West Bank with tens of billions of dollars and a military aid, all of this stuff, and these folks can't even really fight back, and you can't hold it. What would you do if you really had to fight well armed, well trained armies, and the United States was too exhausted or too overwhelmed with facing off the Russians, the Chinese, what if they couldn't bail Israel out? There is a story, and I always change it. It's called "The Boy That Cried Wolf,"
Right.
and I could use this to say the nation that cried terrorist.
Mm,
You can keep saying terrorist, 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 and folk run to it. Eventually, nobody's gonna come.
right.
Now, the United States exists too, and just because there are very close relationships between certain people who are Israeli or American Jews or the Christian Zionists, whatever, that are 100% behind Israel, no matter what it does, wrong or right, that might not always be a winning scenario. We're beginning to see that right now. If you don't notice, typically when Israel is angry and Israel's been insulted or Israel feels hurt, they go right in bombing and doing whatever they feel like they have to do, regardless of who says to the contrary. I think you and I are old enough to have seen this our whole
Yeah.
lives. I've never seen this many people, Jewish, hurt, killed, bombed. And the state didn't just do whatever. They're not already in. They're nibbling around the edges of Gaza. They would have been in there a few years ago. They would have just been in there.
Right.
It would have just happened. They would have the bombing, as terrible as the stuff is now, and it is terrible. It doesn't compare to what Israel would have done just say 10 years ago, 12
Mm,
years ago. And by the way, I don't want any bombing. I didn't like what happened in 2014, 9 years ago. I didn't like what happened in 2006. I don't like any of it. But given the number of deaths and the loss of life and the sense that people have that they want revenge, I'm overwhelmed for Israel, they're showing a lot of restraint. Restraint that doesn't even make sense to anyone that's watched Israel. This isn't Israel to wait this long when they've suffered like this. And the reason that they're doing this is the United States hasn't released Israel. They're not promising we're going to back you in everything they do quite yet.
right.
I'm wondering if it's the hostages. I'm wondering if folks, while they're saying that they're ready to blow Iran off the map, these Israeli people, they're saying these things. Do they really want a fight with Iran, which has 85, 90 million people and all kinds of guided missiles in the thousands and thousands? And not these Mickey Mouse Palestinian missiles, but real things like what hit the hospital that killed 500, 600, 700 people in Gaza, the
Right.
Christian hospital the Iranians have missiles like those. And I know Israel has the Iron Dome defense system, but what the Palestinian assault shows is that the Iron Dome is very effective when it's shooting down a few rockets or missiles. How would it operate if it were facing 2,000 or 3,000 at one time? It may not be able to stop 1,999, or maybe it will be able to stop 1,500.
I
But
think they are depending on America to step in and back them up.
yeah, but see, the problem is, and I've said this in a previous show or two, my nightmare of many years has been American naval personnel being blown up on aircraft carriers by anti-ship cruise missiles.
Mhm.
Anti-ship cruise missile technology is almost 50 years old. The Iranians have had anti-ship cruise missiles for 40 years,
Mhm.
which means they have been
Too advanced.
re-engineered and improved and so forth. And if you can make one, you can make a few hundred. They make drones and everything else. Can you imagine if they let, like what's happened in Ukraine, and let about a few thousand drones swarm our carrier groups, the Gerald Ford and the Eisenhower, and they sent maybe 4 or 5 thousand drones. I mean, can remember the kamikaze pilots were able to destroy American ships in the Pacific with far less accuracy and precision. With these people having far better technology than what the Japanese had, even though the technology, the defense is better. There's other stuff like pulse weapons. Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
You know that the Russians have pulse weapons, right?
Hmm.
You know that the Russians trade with the Iranians, right? And the Russians trade with the Syrians, right?
Right.
And the Syrians have a port called Latakia on the Mediterranean. If Russia felt that nations within its sphere of influence were being threatened, they don't have to fight the U.S. the same way the United States is using Ukraine and the proxy war against Russia. What if Russia used Syria and Iran against the United States as payback? What if they said, what do we have to lose? You know what? Screw Biden, screw America. They're hurting us. Here's some pulse weapons. You realize if they had pulse weapons, they could immobilize our entire carrier groups and fire surface to air missiles at them and sink, kill a few, maybe what, 10, 15,000 US servicemen could all go down in flames, helpless, unable to even use their defense systems. This is, by the way, I don't want that to happen. I don't want the war. I don't like the foreign policy, but I don't sit up hoping for American personnel to get hurt. Are you understanding me?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
And so I'm agonizing over this because if something like that were to happen, but see, Hezbollah has continued to threaten the United States. And Iran has been talking trash to the United States. If Iran does not have nuclear weapons, what is it that they really think that they could do to the United States that would bring about a major defeat of the United States? And to me, the most logical thing is for them to overrun all the bases that border Iran and to take out our Navy, to take out Diego Garcia, to hit the people in Qatar. There are all sorts of American personnel, diplomat. I mean, there are a lot of American folk who will be slaughtered. And these people who are not afraid of martyrdom don't mind dying. They want that their concept of death is very different from ours. I mean, hey, as I said, I've been in Iran and met people people who are ready to die for whatever the Ayatollah tells them. That's normal for people. If they remember when ISIL and ISIS and all said they're going to take Iraq, and Ayatollah Sistani said, I want 2 million people to fight them. They had 2 million people in one day. They didn't even have enough guns to give to people because when these Ayatollahs speak, what people need to understand, Ayatollah is more or less a cross between the Pope and Jesus Christ for Shia Muslims. These men speak for God. If God told them, kill every American that you see, they're going to kill you. Period. They won't think about it. It doesn't mean anything. God said, do it. Look, We have evidence of this in the Iran-Iraq war when they told the little kids to find heaven, gave them plastic keys, and they cleared the minefields with children, exploded all the mines. The Iraqis ran out of landmines to kill Iranians with because the children ran over landmines so the Iranian soldiers could go through and fight the Iraqis.
Mm.
Killing the children destroyed the morale of the Iraqi army to have to kill kids. Right? And
Right.
well, they were poison gassed. The Iranians may have lost 1 million people. They don't even talk about it. They're sad. They absorb that kind of loss. And they keep coming. The Americans aren't ready to absorb. They're still crying over 9/11.
Right.
That we're going in against people who glory in dying if they have to for their faith. This is a civil war between Hamas and the Palestine Authority, aka Al Fatah, PLO, etc. And Hamas is a rebellious group which was funded initially by the Israeli Defense Force, Mossad, and the Netanyahu administration made this Frankenstein to take down Palestinian nationalism. It's backfired. Now you have two Palestinian national movements, a secular one and a Salafist religious one. Salafism are people who want to go back to the ways of basically they want stuff like ISIS and ISIL, what they call pure Islam, like it was at the time of the life of the Prophet Muhammad. So you got that, and then you've got a religious war. I'm sorry, you have a secular, ideological, religious war at the same time between Muslims and Palestinian Muslims and Palestinian Christians against atheistic Jews, Messianic Jews. This is this is a fucking mess. It's no way that there's no way for this to work without people, cooler heads prevailing and the extremes on both sides being checked. And the problem is America has not been willing to check the extremists on the Israeli side because they see them as the good old boys. They're the good old boys of the Zionist movement. And the Arab world sees Hamas and these other people as the good old boys. So you've got two sets of folks who do not mind people getting hurt or killed to achieve their ends. And they don't mind if we get caught up in it because, Shaitan Bazork, which means great Satan, that's what they say. We deserve to die.
Yeah, we're the great
Shaitan
Satan.
Bazork. We deserve to be destroyed. I mean, to some people, we just America's great Satan. American people that are for this stuff, I guess they're gonna have to get hurt or something. Everybody else is getting hurt, and the American people won't wake up. And trust me, there's no special love for Black folks. So we need to just mind our business. The same government that's probably willing to give trillions of dollars to kill Muslims and Iranians and other such people, and we've got homeless veterans. We have Black seniors being denied their disability benefits. We have our people that are homeless. Our schools are being closed. Public housing is being destroyed. The infrastructure in our neighborhood is bad. We're being erased and replaced. You're pushing abortion. Our morals are in the toilet. They've got our boys getting their genitalia hacked off, girls becoming boys. We're going to hell. And we've got these stupid, cynical, selfish, pogo stick riding, sellout, as I said, foreign entanglement coons who haven't seen an issue outside of America that they won't obsess on while they can't deal with any of our matters right here at home. And that includes no good nigga preachers who are ecumenical. The kind that be reading all kinds of Hindu prayers and stuff, and you're supposed to be a Christian minister. These kind of buffoons These people who are traitors to our God, traitors to our people, traitors to our seniors, traitors to those unborn, they're traitors to the Xers, to the millennials, and they're traitors to the Zs. These people are putting us in harm's way because what? 15% of the economy of the United States is controlled by Saudi Arabia. If you see a bunch of black folks fighting for Israel, is that going to make folk who already hated us for being black be kind? No, right?
Right.
The Ukrainians, many of them are Jewish or aligned with Jews, and some of them are Nazis. If we're against Israel, when they make these people without becoming even United States citizens, police, are they going to show us mercy?
No.
Will the Jewish people who have a lot of influence in media show black folks positively, or will they weaponize the media, both entertainment, serious news, and against to make people hate us more than what we already are? Will the same people who are involved in giving credit, grants, those are in education, those that make certain that you can get food and such in the stores, how will they feel about people who wanted to destroy their pipe dream of an exclusively Jewish state? They'll punish us.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, they have ways to say, hey, look, they can either say black folks are identity extremists because they're with Arab terrorists, or that blacks are anti-American, or that blacks are anti-Semitic. Black folks are the ones propping up the terrorism against us. And if you say it a million times, it's true. And who's in the pocket of the two-party system, which is heavily dominated by people who give large amounts to the party, like Sheldon Adelson is the one who gives a lot of money to the Republicans. I forget the Jewish dude that gives a lot of money to the Democrats. Don't you think that we'll get hurt by really harsh public policies and things? We're going to get decimated. The best thing we can do is not be the face of either side, but to be the face that we want justice for our ancestors, for ourselves, and for those not born. That is human. We don't care if people agree with that, but we don't need to antagonize people who already hate us, who are in a position to hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
What's the saying? When your head is in the mouth of the lion, it's important to be wise. We're in a bad situation. We need to learn. There's the one thing I don't like about younger black folks. They think everything has to be loud and confrontational. There's a time and place for everything. A lot of times, like the black man that got shot to death in Georgia for the traffic stop, I watched the video and I wish the man had not been shot, but I'm thinking, had I been speeding and the policeman hadn't shot me, I had an option to put my hands on the vehicle and he wasn't pulling his gun, make it seem as if he's going to shoot me. I think I may have had a chance to get through it all. Are you understanding me?
Right.
But that gentleman just couldn't. I know he's traumatized, but that particular white policeman on that day was not the one that put him in jail for 16 years. He was not the one that did that. But the black man could not govern his rage, and it cost him his life. A lot of us,
They're too emotional.
that I get it. You were in jail 16 years, and he's a policeman, but he doesn't have a gun drawn on you. Why in God's name would you put your hands around his neck instead of going for his gun? If you would have tried to get the gun so he doesn't shoot you, versus trying to get his neck where he can reach for his gun. What were you thinking? You're a professional criminal if you did 16 years in jail. You should, I mean, at least if you're going to go out, get the gun. Right? If I was going to fight the police, and I would have assessed whether I was strong enough to overtake him. If you couldn't overtake him with the hand, it's even more reason he should have gone for the gun. But did he go for the gun? No. He went for the neck, and he's gone. And a lot of black folks are like that man in Georgia. They have a legitimate grievance. They've been abused. They've been hurt. They've been traumatized. But when they're put in a situation where it's not favorable to them by people who have the ability to hurt them, they often act as if they're the ones who have impunity. It's stupid. We're outnumbered. We're outgunned. Psychologically, we're outfought because we have so many traitors amongst us. But we could do better if I'm gonna say this, I don't care who doesn't like it. Black people are are very much uh, are a spiritual nation. We don't necessarily dominate a landmass. We don't control the currency. We don't have an army. We don't have a range of things. We used to have God. It
Mm.
really helped us own land. It used to help us work together when we didn't even like what we look like. And now we don't have God. We still don't like ourselves. We have less land and everything else. I would say I'd take having God back for a few million acres of land. I would take having God back for us to have our own businesses and for people to know the difference between a rectum and a vagina. I would take that. I really mean, let's bring God back, please. And I know it sounds it sounds weak, but the
It does.
same Negroes that think I sound weak, they're
It
either
does.
for the gun buybacks or they think having a gun is going to help them when folks have lasers and have infrared weapons and all this other stuff. The best thing a gun can do is if you're dealing with people that you can struggle with on a local situation.
Mhm.
Otherwise, if people pulled out cannons and helicopter gunships, those things won't mean that much unless you've had combat training. And most of us don't want to be in the army. It doesn't pay very well. And everybody knows that, what's that thing called that they go to, the VA?
The VA.
Yeah, yeah, it should be called the VS instead of the VA, or VA like a vagina, except you don't get none. I mean, it's really terrible. It's really terrible. I'm sorry. So we don't. A lot of us don't have, and a lot of those who do have military training are coons. So I don't think, and I'm gonna agree with Dr. King, not because he didn't have guns, but Dr. King did have some sense. We're not gonna be able to pull a move with Saturday night specials against folks who have Lugers and machine guns and Mausers and M16s and guided missiles. We're not armed like that, and we haven't prepared ourselves if it had to go that way. I'm not saying that you can't fight for your life. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but to me, maybe you won't have to at this point do that. Why go into a conflict unprepared? Why go into a conflict untrained? Why go where you can't win? Anyone that's done any military history knows when you have an untrained, undisciplined army, no matter how big it is, it will lose to a smaller, well organized, well led army. Uh, so we need to be working on developing institutions that foster cooperation, leadership, self defense, mutual cooperation, mutual respect as a defensive mechanism. And if need be, we can act offensively if there is a need to preemptively stop people from harming us another few hundred years. But that has to be worked on. And it can't be out of bitterness or hate, but out of we must preserve our own lives.
Doc, hold one thought for a second. Sister Shawn, you want to add to this? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. You got to unmute yourself.
Gosh, I thought I was unmuted. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that I can double back on that. And I think that this is how we need to be elevating the conversation. And that we definitely need God and guns. And we're gonna need that for what I have envisioned. He's absolutely right. Is that ground fight, right? So if somebody wants to come and take the keys to your house, what are you gonna do, right? But we need to also think about that. That's one line of defense, and it's almost like the last line of defense because, oh Lord, stop it, Buzzy. The thing is that the technology with the weapons are so advanced that if you got drones coming in here then that can shoot you, my little firearm is not going to do anything but to help me in my immediate situation. So I think we have to elevate the conversation of self-defense and preservation. So we got to elevate it, and we got to take it past the weapons on our hip or on our ankle. And we have to look at other ways to defend ourselves. And I have other thoughts on that, but I'm not going to say it here.
Right.
I don't want anybody to steal those ideas. I think because the average Joe Blow, one, they're not going to have a drone, let alone know how to operate one. But it's something called booby traps. That's that old Negro stuff that we know how to do. We may not have a drone, but we can still have some booby traps. So I would say that. And so then on that Israel thing, and it was something that he said I listened to, they talked about the Iron Dome. And the Iron Dome failed. Okay. So let's think about that. That Iron Dome was in place when those people came in and did that attack. So that should tell you nobody is special, right? And nobody is special and big and the most. So those littlins, if they're so insignificant, how did they penetrate your Iron Dome? See? So one thing that we have to do is stay humble and not to come into a place where we feel as if we're superior in terms of defense. We have to always be humble in our defense mechanisms and be very, very careful to think that everything that we're doing is the best. And the weakness was exposed. And so Israel's already been exposed. And he actually already said it, because I've actually been reading on it too. So yeah, the dome is okay for a few missiles here and there, but the dome is not efficient for multiple missiles. Their weakness has been exposed, and all of the other Arab countries, all of the other Middle East see that. So Israel is extremely vulnerable because the Iron Dome has been tried and tested and failed.
Right.
From this one little cadre of Hamas. So don't you think, like Dr. Short is saying, they've been sitting on missiles for 50 years. Do you think they've been sitting there twiddling their thumbs for 50 years? Or have they been advancing themselves? So that's Iron Dome. And that's why if they ain't scared, they should be scared. I need to be the head of the military, because what all that did was showed my enemy my vulnerability.
One of them.
And then I know what to do. All we do is just do 10,000 at a time instead of 3 or 4. The dome did not work.
Or it does not work.
Or it does
No,
work.
no. The dome works. It's not ready for thousands, but the U.S. is sending other stuff over. I'm not saying that it's infallible. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say to you that I feel like this is an inside job, and I'll keep saying it. This is an inside job. Hamas was funded by the Israeli Defense Force. If you don't think that they don't have, when folks are starving and are hungry, and there's 2.3 million of them, and there's no jobs, no food, no water, no electrical power. If you don't think that they don't have some Palestinian snitches who tell the Israelis everything that they know, then you're crazy. The human intelligence network that the Israelis, Shin Bet, and Mossad have is very good. What happened is, I believe, that there was a stand down, and on top of that, Hamas deliberately didn't use phones or anything that most people use to communicate. They did everything on paper and so forth. In fact, have we seen this before? Did they learn something? Let me tell you a group of people that didn't use telephones, that didn't use anything tech. Let me take you back. Remember the audio cassettes?
Yeah.
Remember the audio? Do you know that that was the main weapon of Ayatollah Khomeini's people? This dude would be making all these crazy speeches, talking about revolution, like going off of people's heads. And it was all on audio tapes. It wasn't on the radio anywhere. And these people would go on a trip and bring back a master tape and run off thousands of these tapes. And everybody had these tapes. They were like, remember when Thriller came out? A lot of people had Thriller on an audio tape.
Mm-hmm.
And I had Off the Wall on the audio tape. Well, that was one of the first things that really did well on the audio tape.
Right.
And so these people, the Iranian government that had spies everywhere, torturing people, putting electrodes on people's nuts. But if they're not on the phone, if they're not using telegrams, if they're not doing, they weren't looking for damn VHS tapes and audio tapes for the way all the messages, the speeches had messages and such. You tell the people to go crazy, and you think you're listening to some Islamic sermon, and there's little codes within the sermon telling people what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see those big marches, if you've ever studied the Iranian Revolution, those people are following stuff off an audio tape.
Right.
There'd be implicit hidden codes within clear language that most people wouldn't get except those that needed to know. And that means, unless those folks were willing to listen to all the audio tapes, study the Quran backwards and forwards,
Mm-hmm.
and then get the priest within the know and torture their asses and see, had they done that, they would have set people off. They had no way of figuring out who to talk to spy.
Right.
I think Hezbollah has been working with Hamas. They've developed a relationship that they used to not have with the Iranians. You have to understand the Iranians have had an issue with the Qataris because the Qataris are Wahhabists like the Saudis, but there's still a relationship.
Right.
As Saudi Arabia has gotten closer to Iran, there's a new set of problems. So I don't think that this stuff happened by accident. I've said to people, I didn't say it to you, Sister Shawn, but I told my mother in September that there was going to be a rebellion by Hamas in a couple of weeks. I said this to her in the middle of September. Says, why? It's going to blow up in October, Mom. There's no way. There's no way me being in America who's never been to Gaza, the closest I've been to Gaza is Qatar or Iran, well, Libya. The closest I've been is maybe 700, 800 miles from Gaza.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little less than that, maybe a little more than that. I've never been that close. So how am I seeing that these people are about to go off and break out? And I don't know anything about this. I'm just watching the way they're treating the people in their holy site. If you've been watching what's being done to the Palestinians on the West Bank and in East Jerusalem and in Gaza, something was going to blow. It just had to. If you had any dignity, every button that could have been pushed to make those people angry had been pushed. They've been banging on the buttons. I want to go further to say on the 22nd of December, 2022, I wrote an article for the Iranian Al-Quds newspaper, and I mentioned that Netanyahu was going to provoke a awful ulceration violence to occur in Gaza that would be so egregious that he would be justified to go in and smash Gaza. I wrote this down December 22nd, 2022. I said this would be necessary for him to unify a divided government. Well, doesn't he have a national emergency government? Yes.
He proclaimed it.
Oh, yeah, he proclaimed it exists. I could see him needing to do this last year. So how could the Israeli defense people who live there, who have spies and satellites, that they can't see this going down? You have 500,000 Israelis in the street marching, protesting that they can't stand Netanyahu. And we need to remember that there are 2 million Israeli Arabs.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That means that there are 7,500,000 Jews. So if you mean to tell me that 500,000 Jews out of 7,500,000 are marching, what is that? Six, seven, 1 in 9 Jews is out in the streets every day, and you don't think that you've got a national problem? And you don't think that that would embolden someone to say that the Jewish society itself looks like it's going to have almost a civil war?
So,
Then,
Doc, what do you think we should do on our end? What do Black Americans do?
well, it's the same thing I'll tell anyone. One, get with God, get some guns, get a garden, get some friends.
Triple
Stay,
G, God, garden, and some guns. I meant
Oh
to do
yeah,
that.
look, he added to it. I love it. I had to unmute. I don't want the dog to bark.
God,
God, guns, and garden.
yes.
we've got to have our own
Triple
food.
G's.
We've got to have gets, and we have to have a group or a gang, a group of people that we stick to. We need to stop spending our money. We need to boycott the Democrats. The Democratic Party is the party of shit for Black people. I'm not asking anyone to be Republicans, but I am saying that these people, this craziness that we see, has really gone to hell under Biden and all these people. I mean, this gender madness, and forcing people in Africa that you have to be a sodomite or you're going to starve. I mean, what? I mean, how long before they do that to us here? Your kids are going to have to take sodomy lessons or they can't participate in the free lunch program. We're already close to that. Schools can't get the free lunch program if they don't acknowledge trans. How long before, can you imagine? And for Gay Pride Week, that you have to have cookies shaped like male genitalia. If you don't want it, then you can't have lunch. Are they that insane? Yes, I went to school with such nasty, deviant people. These insane, no good, Black, trifling liberals, and the white ones are scum too. You can't please them. They think you wanting your kids to grow up so you can be grandparents is oppressive and cruel. But that kid having a genitalia hacked off at 6 or 7 is progress and enlightenment.
Doc, why you think our preachers are not saying nothing?
We don't have preachers. We have hirelings. They're frauds. They're liars. They're degenerates. They've killed off their best customers with the vaccines. They don't deserve a congregation. They don't deserve to be listened to. The best thing that anybody that believes in God could do is start a home Bible study, to start a house church. Let those assholes pay their own mortgages. Watch them sell their Bentleys and their big gas guzzling cars or their SUVs. Nobody will want to come and be in a mass choir of an unheated church. These people are passe. If they're not going to be for the true gospel of Christ, which teaches salvation and liberation. So my fellowship, is called Salvation and Liberation. Your soul needs to be saved. You need to have a relationship with God. But then again, you need those things. It says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added. We're talking about a gun, a house, some land, decent income, health care. But have God in your life, have salvation, have a moral compass, live right, follow the second commandment, respect others, and that's everybody. By the way, you don't hear me in here preaching hatred against anyone. The only thing I hate is somebody with a gun in my face or someone trying to rob me. And that's situational. Okay. When they're behind bars or sitting in an electric chair, I love them too. In fact, I really love them when when the switch is flipped in the electric chair. We 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 need to understand that our people used to have a moral compass. It's been thrown in the septic tank by people who want to be big. They want to be like TD Jakes. And first of all, I wouldn't want to look like TD Jakes. And I'll tell anyone, I'd be ashamed to be in public with a bald head that's as oddly shaped as his. It's just very strange to me. I mean, and I'm just saying. And on top of that, you're married, but people never see your wife. Your daughter's had all kinds of kids early. your sons. You have to hide them because if people saw him, they wouldn't know whether he's going to do a condom commercial or if he's going to try to get people to become gay affirming. I mean, so TD Jakes is a wreck of a pastor. You heard me say it. I don't care. I don't like him. I don't like anybody that's with him. Please don't follow me or talk to me. I don't like crooked, antinomian, no good black pastors. I don't like racist white ones either, who can tell you when Jesus is coming back, but they don't know that black folks who are outnumbered them on the world are people. So, in fact, the black preachers run after racist white preachers, hoping to get their crumbs. And so the church is what it is. The Bible says that most people on a wide road to hell, and there are very few people in the narrow road that leads to heaven. So when you're in a mega church, maybe you're in a room full of people that are going to spend eternity in hell, because if these mega churches, especially the ones out in your Prince George's County, were worth a damn, why can't they intervene and do something about this spike in crime? Why couldn't they do something about the homes being stolen through electronic mortgage fraud? Why can't they do something about human trafficking? These folks have plenty of money. They don't give a damn. And it says they'll know you're Christians by your love. Well, if you don't love nobody, you ain't what you said you are.
I would think that without a vision, the people perish. They don't have a vision for.
Well, yeah, well, they don't have a vision of anything except their bank statement. Let me tell you, these preachers compete with each other. I remember one of the pastors, I'm going to say who it is, I don't care. The pastor of Evangel Church is now Evangel Church. The head one, Reverend Mears or Bishop Mears, everybody. They have to keep coming up with new names, apostle. Pretty soon they're going to start saying Pope because there's so many apostles out here. Everybody's apostle. The postman's an apostle. Shawn's dog is an apostle. He's been preaching more than she has. Look. So now they're going to call themselves popes. They already wear the hats and have the little shepherd's cane and everything. And they probably molest boys too. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. I mean, these people, let me say this to you.
Before you say it, I want folks to know they listen to Dr. Randy Short and Sister Shawn on guns, gun buyback, and other topics. But go ahead and finish that because we're going to wrap it up now. We 2 hours in, brother.
Well, that's fine. Just people need to know that real ministers of people of the gospel serve people. If Sister Shawn called me with the problem, I might pray with her, but Sister Shawn also knows I'll start trying to figure out what practical could work within the people that I know have a relationship with God to help.
Right.
Maybe it's nothing, but maybe it could be something. If it's something, right?
Right.
Then ask. Right? We can help one another. All these other people help each other. They may have bed bugs and lice, but they're able to live together and buy property. It seems like if we could do it without the lice, the head lice and the bed bugs, I could work with that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And without the pedophilia, because a lot of folks like the kids, like that 10-year-old that got pregnant out in Ohio.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. And that was a Latino family, the good, hard working, just looking for jobs to experience the American dream. The American dream to get a 10-year-old pregnant, or actually a 9-year-old pregnant, because she had the abortion at 10.
Sister Shawn, you want to add something?
I'm trying to undo so you guys won't get disrupted by the dog, but I'm just listening and learning as I always do.
Brother.
Dr. Short always gives us that deeper understanding, that scholarship that we actually need, that not many people have. That's what I want people to really understand, is that there's not many people left that has that type of deep knowledge, especially on a foreign, global, national level. I personally, I knew about the Palestinian Israel. I knew nothing nothing other than what I've learned. I've learned so much in the last couple of weeks with this conflict. And my dog he's a nocturnal dog. The dog sleeps at day, he's by night. So he's going to bark. So the thing is that it was very, very important for me to go through this level of understanding. Unfortunately, it was by way of conflict. And I am just appreciative that I had Dr. Short to kind of fill in the gaps and do my own research. And once I really look at it, I am taking that lesson and I am applying it to my own self and my own people here. And I really see us with everything we're experienced with these open borders. We've got wars everywhere. We're importing anti-Blackness. And what I would just warn.
And we're paying tithes to it. And we're voting for it.
We're voting for it and we're paying tithes to it through our taxes. So what I would caution everyone is to think deeply, is that it's so bad with all of the destruction and the degeneracy that's being promoting in our community, the lack of family, the lack of cohesiveness that all of us are experiences, that don't think that you can't become the Palestinian, because that white man is dying off. And then that new man ain't even a white man. It's a Mexican man.
Well, he'd like to be.
Ukrainians, Chinese nationals. These people give not 2 iotas about us. And all of them are anti-Black.
And we're anti-Black and don't care 2 iotas about ourselves. We have to deal with that.
And we've got that internal problem where we have this external problem that's kind of coming in against us. And we don't really understand the devastation that they get. And they are making moves. They have been silent. And this is another thing that I noticed. Under Trump, I looked at under Trump versus under Biden. Under Trump, it seems like when you talk about racial tension, right? They said that he was like affirmative for all of the racial tension. But I beg to differ. I feel more racial tension under Biden than under Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Because for a Black man or woman, and for me, the racial tension under Trump was the racial tension of that white man from the Civil War that I know. But the racial tension that I'm dealing with now is more compounded, is more intense. It's not just the Civil War yahoos, it's the Chinese, it's the Mexicans. All of them just kind of, it was almost like they were sleeper cells. Then they just resurrected and all hell broke loose. I don't know if anybody feels the same way. And they came out against us. They showed their ass. So that's the good thing. Now we know. So the question is, ending the space, what the hell are we going to do about it? They showed their asses to be more racist than that Yahoo or that Southern redneck.
Right.
So we got a lot to deal with. And I'll fold my chair.
It was a great folding chair you just did.
I'll fold my chair.
Well, look, I just want to say it's been a long time coming. I'm glad that I got two of the brightest minds, passionate about the people, love. I mean, very sincere, honest. And again, I sent a text out to Chef C, and Chef is he's on the interview with somebody, so he can't do it right now. He couldn't come up, but I was gonna bring him up. But I got, like I said, two heavy hitters, love God's people, and I couldn't have two better guests on, just sharing with the audience, whether now or tomorrow, that there are some people out here who's pushing back in our own unique way. We're pushing back. Everybody's not on this train, that Republican train, that Democrat train, that inappropriate behavior train, and we see things that's going on, and we're just trying to warn the people in advance. And again, those who will see it, and those who won't see it, they won't see it. And Trust me, I've already made up my mind that there will be collateral damage, that everybody's not going to make it. That is not going to make it. As much as I want folks to make it, they're not going to make it. And again, I'm glad to have Dr. Randy Short. Do you have any information you want to give to the people so they can contact you, or they can
Right.
be support to you?
Well, yes. Well, first and foremost, I hope this is the beginning of many collaborations. I know Sister Shawn and I will be working together. I have a YouTube channel that will launch. I'm going to start using it. You know, there's so much censorship, but it's at the Angry Black Men's Book Club. Angry Black Men's Book Club on YouTube. You can find me as well. For folks who love the commentary, um, and want to support the Angry Black Men's Book Club as well, I am the president of the Black American Constitutional Political Action Committee and so forth. Well, my direct cash app is Dr. Randy Short, $DrRandyShort. I have a Patreon, which is Dr. Dr. period Randy space Short on Patreon. And of course, if you like PayPal or Zelle or want to ask an email question, I can. I'm at wrandyshort@gmail.com. That is both my personal email. I do try to respond to people in it. It's also a way to send communication. It's a way to give through PayPal and or Zelle. And the only other thing I was going to say to you is that I'm hoping to have Brother Juan on, the sooner the better, so he can help launch my channel this week. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, and he'll be welcome. I also want to say to Brother Juan and that whenever I work with anyone's channel, the numbers grow. So you need to have me back a couple of times for us to talk about things, and I'll come on yours if you come on mine. And I don't know, do you have 1,000 people yet?
Not yet, but I'm.
What do you have?
I got I think 37 on YouTube. I got about 1,500 on Facebook. So the
Okay.
Facebook crowd is bigger than the YouTube crowd.
Well, what we want to see your YouTube go to 1,000, and I just want to say I'm not boasting, but in about 2 months, we went from 4 to 1,040, and so I'm thinking, and that's a large amount of that time with people bothering and blocking me through fake books. So if I have my own channel, and if I can put whatever I do with you on my channel and circulate it, we can pull all this up. And of course, we have to work together. I want to just mention to you what I said to Chef C is to have a union of like-minded people in social media working together and helping each other. And so I could go on channels with more people, but I like Brother Quentin, and I'm going to keep my word to him and keep pushing. And, you know, there are other things, you know, there are newspapers and such or magazines. I'm going to look at that tomorrow and work on that and get my answer to it. But you and I and others must do more. And again, for people that want to support, because Sister Shawn will say repeat, I am $ Dr. Randy Short on Cash App. I'm also Doctor, which is Dr. period Randy RANDY space SHORT on Patreon. My YouTube channel of choice is Angry Black Men's Book Club. I have multiple Facebook accounts: Dr. Randy Short, Randy Lancaster Short, Randy L. Short, and the same as you could find me on Instagram. In fact, all you could do is like Google, you'll find me. I'm someone that always gets censored, but my contacts are out there. And of course, you want to email me, in particular about the Angry Black Men's Book Club or book references, whatever. I'm wrandyshort@gmail.com. That's a Zelle, that's a PayPal. That is also my personal email. And Brother Juan and Sister Shawn, we really can do this. We really can do this. And thank you for having me on.
I just put your email right there at the bottom, wrandyshort@gmail.com. If people want to contact you, they want to make a donation, or
Mhm.
just uh,
Right,
follow you. So it's wrandyshort@gmail.com. And again,
right. And as well as Dr. Randy Short as a cash app, which is under my photo on here. So it's not hard if they want, just reach out. And in particular, people in the DMV, we really need you to work with Sister Shawn and Sister Giselle. You need to have Sister Giselle on your platform, Brother Juan. And I
okay.
know Sister Shawn knows Sister Giselle. So I'm going to, you know Giselle, right?
I know her by
No,
listening to her.
I'm working with JD at this point.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. I follow you. But I want to get Juan to, because it'll be interesting. We have to get that synergy. But yes, you work with JD, do what you have to do. I never tell people who to work with. So I will work this out. Okay. And we'll move forward. Let me get out of here and I'll be in touch with y'all.
Again, thank you, sir. Thank you again, Sister Shawn, for your participation, and both of you guys. And I look forward to hearing from you again. And
Yeah.
go in peace and have make some money and nothing but the best for you guys.
Thanks. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And the dog too.
Yeah, I know. I had to mute, but this is his time now.
Yes.
All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Okay, family, with that said, it's been a long broadcast, a very informative broadcast. I just want to let you know I told you I was going to bring some voices on with different perspectives, different views. Again, people who are critical thinkers, people who are not just going along to get along, but they're asking questions. And so, again, you will be seeing more voices on outside of myself, people who are thinking outside the box, who are asking questions, and they are, just going with their own convictions. And with that said, so we're out of here, family. Again, we 2 hours and 30 minutes in. I will be on a broadcast tomorrow morning, I think on 95.1 Sankofa Radio. Again, I think it's 95.1 Sankofa Radio at 9 o'clock in the morning. I will be on the business hour with Brother Muhammad. Brother Muhammad. So if you're not doing nothing, tune in tomorrow morning. I may just post something before I go on. Matter of fact, I will post something tomorrow morning before I go on, and you can hear me interviewed talking about, again, guns, talking about what's going on in our neighborhoods. Again, we're paying attention, and I'm going on a record with quite a few things. And again, I have a great love for my people and what I do, and you know, so I'm just looking forward to sharing on tomorrow. Again, I'm not going to hold you. Always remember, my prayer for you is health and happiness, love, success, prosperity, resources, and unlimited money. That's my prayer for you all, always. Always remember this: it's not how much you know, it's how much you care. And there is a lone wolf in you, and it's my goal to bring him out. Again, stay encouraged. I don't know if I'm gonna see you on tomorrow. I will probably be in Pennsylvania, looking at going to the funeral of my friend on Wednesday. So it's a lot going on here. But again, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Appreciate Sister Shawn. Appreciate Dr. Short. I appreciate and Chef C, you're up next. We're gonna have this conversation, the bloodline. So again, thank you all. Enjoy your night. And I'll see